5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, I'm Imani.
Bella.
And we're going to tell you how to do a full verb synopsis.
Today, the verb that we will be synopsizing.
No. We're just...
Oh, I gotta tell them the verb.
Explain it.
I gotta tell them the verb.
No, we don't need a verb. Okay. Whatever.
Okay, so we're doing the verb. Ubeyo, ubere, uisi, uisum. That means to order. So to do the present active, you go to the first principal part, you take off the O and you add personal endings. And then it becomes ubent. Ubent.
Because it's third person plural feminine.
I have a song to remember the personal endings. Oestimo senti, the Latin present endings are Oestimo senti.
And for the imperfect, you go to the second principal part and take off the ERE, add your ba like a sheep, because imperfect goes back in time. So it's IUB, IUB bant.
And then for the future active, you go to the second principal part, you take off the ERE and you do bobis bit, demus bits bunt. So then this is ube bunt, because it's third person plural.
Yeah!
So ube bunt.
Ube bunt. And then for the passive, you just add URs to all of them. But if it weren't third person, all the endings are wrist, her, mer, mini, unter. Yes. Okay, now for the perfect system, nothing like for all the conjugations, it doesn't change because it's perfect. It's perfect. That's why it's called the perfect system. So you always have to go to the third principal part. Okay, so for perfect active, you go to the third principal part, add your personal endings. Is et, imus, is und. Erant.
And since this is third person plural, you do sumas es sunt. So the perfect passive would be usai sunt, and then aramaros arat, aransarantis arant. That would be the pluperfect, so you do usai arant, and then future perfect, you do aro, arisarit, arimus, aritis, arunt. So it's usai arunt.
And for the active, you still go to the third principal part. And for pluperfect, you add ERA plus your personal endings. And future perfect, you add ERI, or personal endings. Okay.
So now for the infinitive section of the synopsis. Oh my god. Biggest broke the fan. Okay.
Present active infinitive is just your second principal part,
which is the infinitive form of the verb. So it's ubere. And the perfect active,
you go to the third principal part and you add isse, but you take off the I first. And then add isse.
And then for the future active, you go to the fourth principal part and you add on like a um or whatever.
You add UR in between. You add UR before UM.
So instead of usum, instead of uisum, it comes uisarum.
But make sure it matches the person gender, because I didn't do that on here and that's wrong. I should have corrected it.
Oh, it's I. Urisai. Uisarai, and then you add an essay.
And this part for the passive present infinitive, it depends on what conjugation, because for some conjugations you just take off the RE, but for third you take off the whole ERE and add long I. But for the others you just take off the RE and add long I. And for the perfect passive, you go to the fourth principal part, take off the UN, make it match your person, gender, number, and add essay. Imperative.
Okay, now for the imperatives, they're really easy. You go to, do you go to the infinitive? Yeah, so you go to the second principal part, and you take off the RE. So it would be ube, and then you also go to the for the plural, that was the singular. And then for the active plural, you also go to the second principal part, except you take off the RE and you add, you take off the ERE and you either add ite, ete, or ate, depending on what conjugation it is.
Yes. And then subjunctives are not that hard. They seem like they would be hard, but It's not hard because you just have to remember, we fear a giant liar. Liar.
Not lion.
And it's like, we is first conjugation, fear is a second conjugation. Yeah, etc. And it's the vowels that you have to remember is E, E-A, A, I-A, and then I-A. So, since this is third conjugation, I'm getting a call. You go to, no, it's second conjugation, sorry. And you would do EA, so you go to the first principal part. No, second principal part, add EA, and then your personal endings. And then for imperfect subjunctive, you go to the second principal part, just add your endings. Like, you don't have to take anything off. And then for the passive, same thing as the indicative, you add UR. And you want to do that.
Okay, for the participles, for the active, what? Oh, subjunctive perfect. Okay. Oh my god. You go, so for the perfect subjunctive, you go to the second principal part. Is that right? We're making me look dumb. Third principal part, and you add ERI and then personal endings.
Yeah.
So it's with servant. And then same thing for the subjunctive. Ooh, perfect. And you add essay.
You go to the perfect.
Oh, you go to the third principal part.
No,
you go to the third
but
principal part, and you add essay, and then ent. No, I mean.
Or you could just go to the perfect infinitive, because it has the essay. And then you just add the principal endings. And then for passive, it's like the same idea as indicative.
Except it's the subjunctive ending, like
the subjunctive form of
sint.
the subjunctive form of soon.
So then it's for the perfect subjunctive, it's usai sint, and then the pluperfect is usai essent.
Participles, last thing. You go to the second principal part, take off the RE, and then add NS, and then if it's plural, you add NTES, and then for the passive participles, you just go to the fourth principal part, take off the UM, and then make it match your number and gender. That's how you synopsize a verb.
This has been Bella Imani and Molly McGillicuddy. Thank you for your time. And your
See you next week on Not iCarly. Bye!